I truly appreciate you coming on, and we typically, like I said, we kind of cut these videos up and try to make kind of a content for our clients. And the reason why we primarily do these things is to encourage agents to try to do better with internet leads. The problem that a lot of agents get into is that they get some bad leads, some fake leads, and then they end up hating internet lead generation in a general sense. So when there are some positive stories, we try to spread those positive stories amongst those that are actually doing it, just to encourage them as much as possible. So I really appreciate you giving us a hand here and helping us out from that perspective. And so you just started with us not too long ago, from what I understand.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, back in September, I guess, is when we kind of came online.
Yeah, August 28th you signed up, and I believe by September 8th we got you guys up and running and going with the leads. Yeah. And was your first training? Do you remember what date your first training was on?
Oh, I can't remember.
Can't remember.
You know what happened is my wife and I were real estate agents, and we have been. I got in the business in 2007. My wife got in 1997,
Okay.
and we've gone through like a whole variety of different websites and lead generating systems and stuff. But this summer, we moved from Winnipeg to Kelowna area.
Ah, okay.
So we're basically just
Fresh
clean
start.
slate. Yeah, we got rid of when we were winding things down in Winnipeg, we were just kind of we weren't investing a lot into lead generation, that sort of thing. So when we got out here, we investigated a few of the local agents and kind of had a look at some of the websites, and there was a few people that were using the agent locator site. So that's I inquired about it, and I measured it against a few other sites, which the names escape me now. But basically, it was something that I thought was a good fit for us moving forward because we did have time on our hands to really work the online angle a lot, and
Yeah.
so it's been our primary source of leads. Us being in a new town, not knowing anybody.
Yeah, not having a sphere of influence of any kind. This is kind of you get in from fresh and start from fresh. So it's awesome that you started with internet leads, because it's one of the ways that you can kind of you're almost like an expert in an area without being an expert in an area, because you're getting the flow of incoming leads on a consistent basis. So that's amazing. That's awesome, and I'm very glad that you picked us out of the group. And there's a number of companies. There are probably now with the U.S. market, there's probably 100 lead generation companies, if not more. And truthfully, a lot of them are the same. From a lead perspective, the leads are the same. We're all taking out of the leads out of the same pool. There's one big
Sure.
pool, well, two big pools. There's a pool on Facebook and there's a pool on Google. Of people that are, on Google, people are looking for homes for sale. They're actually searching for it. So there's intent there. Where on Facebook, we're advertising to a broader range of curiosity, and some that come through are less valuable than others. But both work in a sense, in the way. But it's a lot on the conversion side. So how you work the lead and how you actually process that lead, that really makes a difference. And one of the things that we certainly do try to help you guys with that, if you've never done internet lead generation before, is number one, training, which I know you went through. So I think your first training would have been on September the 3rd. And that was with Brana. So your trainer was Brana.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then, yeah, and then Brana does check-in. So September 3rd, first training, we did our first check-in on September 28th, our second October 5th, our third October 26th, and then November 12th was kind of the final check-in there. And those check-ins, what we do is we just try to make sure that you're on the right path. I mean, we know what agents are supposed to do, and then we try to push them towards that. And if they're not doing it, try to create some kind of accountability to help them along the way, to push them to get to do what they're supposed to do, which is really work the leads as best they can. Is there anything that you might be able to share with me with regards to the training process that you went through? Any good, bad, both? Would love to hear anything that you think.
The support team that you have was really good. Like something like I haven't experienced before. I know that the business is changing regularly, and people are companies like yours are always upping their game. But I got to say, Brana especially, she did a really good job of just that accountability. She didn't hold my feet to the fire, but just the fact that she's keeping in touch and saying, listen,
Right.
I can see what's going on in the back end here. you should probably be trying this, that, and the other thing, and don't forget about this, and maybe try that.
Right.
And it really, it does help. It makes me feel like there's somebody out there that cares about what our business is doing out here, and that the system that you guys are selling to me is working for me.
Yeah, thank you. That's amazing, and I know you've converted a deal, and I'm truly I'd love to understand how long it took, if you remember, from the point of when you got the lead to actually closing it. Do you remember by any chance any stats on that?
Oh, it was just like, okay, so we're in vacation country here in Kelowna, so there's most of my leads are coming from outside of Kelowna.
Right.
They're coming from, they're people, especially in this time of COVID, people are looking at spending their second home money in
Right.
the Okanagan.
Right.
So this particular person, retired couple, selling their home, downsizing in Edmonton. The home was about to hit the market,
Okay.
and they called and said, "Listen, we're going to be making." They already had their plane tickets bought to come into Kelowna. So I basically it was just really good timing for me. I contacted them right away, and they said, "Hey, listen, we got our tickets booked. We're going to be here on Monday." I think it was the previous Wednesday or something when they
Right.
came, when they contacted me on my website. And then they were here Monday. We had an offer written on Thursday. I showed them,
That's
20
amazing.
condos. And then, and then the rest is just
Yeah,
lined up.
it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily happen like that every time, but it's amazing that especially in this day and age, when when they're moving from one place to another, they truly don't know anybody in the area, and they don't have an agent that can help them. So, one of the ways, just so everybody knows, one of the ways that we target these people that are looking is by advertising on Google, and we're not advertising, here, I'm the agent, help, I want to help you. We're advertising homes for sale in the area, and as they're browsing, they end up registering on the website, and that's how the lead flows in. The thing that's changed over the last number of years, and we've been doing this for 10 years now, but the internet has really awakened itself even longer than that people are not online looking for agents. They're online looking for homes. And that's how we transition, going from a lead over to a client. And then the agent's supposed to be the one that's helping them, through that process as best they can. And that's how we get to a conversion. So that's truly awesome. I really, very glad to see that happen. And there's going to be many, many, many more like that, both from Kelowna and from outside as well. So that's amazing. Is there the questions that I have here that we would just typically go through that we ask clients? So we got that deal closed. So from a month's perspective, from when you actually started with us, so you started with us on September, really towards the end of September there, I believe. So it literally took only 2-3 months for you to convert a deal from the system.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's generally not like that. So I truly want to make sure that people don't expect that many times, because most of the time the leads that come in are typically at the very beginning stage of the buying process. So for them to get through that beginning stage to the end takes sometimes 6-7 months to actually get through that.
Sure.
Yeah, this lead was at a much different stage. Obviously, they sold a home and they were ready to come in and ready to really make an offer on anything that made sense to them, because they were at a much closer stage to buying. So that's amazing that happened, and it isn't the most typical thing in the world. So I'm great. I'm glad that it happened to you. And Kelowna, from what I hear, is
happy too.
Yeah.
It helps. Yeah. I'll tell you one thing. Years of experience in this business, usually it's this time of year, end of October, beginning of November, that we start planning for the following year.
Mm-hmm.
So right now we're planning for 2021, and a lot of that has to do with our marketing activities and based on the goals that we want to achieve and that sort of stuff. And that's kind of this online lead generation. That kind of encapsulates what we do at this time of year. Typically, I know that these leads, they're going to take the 3, 6, 9 months. We're planting seeds for next year, basically. 100%. And I can see that in the relationships that I'm building with people that are signed up. It's more of a trust building exercise with these people, getting to know them. A lot of them, they're in the early stages of the search. So if you can establish that rapport, and they can, trust that you care about what it is that they're looking for, what they want to accomplish,
Exactly.
I think your lead conversion is going to be a lot higher.
Yeah, and I'm so glad you said that, because it's a relationship that actually makes that transaction happen, not the lead itself or the system. We have nothing to do with the sale itself. All we're helping with is to actually create that opportunity, and then the agents are there to make that opportunity. And I've told this to agents many times. The moment that a system has the ability to generate a lead and sell a lead is the moment that both you and I are out of a job.
Yeah, that's right.
So we're certainly, I don't believe that that's a possibility. I don't think that that's something that you can create that type of relationship with an individual, especially with, a purchase that's the biggest purchase of their life. And this is something that they need to really be intimate with. So I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, unless AI gets so much better and the people can trust that AI. It's going to be a little difficult to get to that point. So if AI is going to do anything, it's not going to be the real estate market. I really truly don't think. Um,
Yeah.
how many leads would you say on a month-to-month basis do you currently generate?
Oh boy. Probably I haven't really been keeping that close contact, but I think that I have about 100 in my pipeline right now,
Yeah,
and I've probably, um, uh, you know, maybe 15% of them have ended up not going anywhere.
right.
So those ones, Brana has always told me, don't delete anything. Just
Yes,
move it into the proper categories. I have a little bit of a different philosophy. I don't like to see that clutter, visually see the clutter. So if there's no email address, no phone messages, if they
that's
haven't
good. Yeah,
looked at any of my emails over the last, 6 weeks, I deleted. That's my own personal thing. So it's probably the
yeah.
leads have probably been closer to 130 or 140 since I started, but I
Yeah,
think
there's
I've
157 total generated. Last month was 68. This month so far was 52. I'll tell you the reason why we say don't delete leads. And in fact, I'm with you on the part that, I don't want to see them. If they're really crap leads and bad, I mean, no good number, no good email. What's the point of even me looking at it? So fully agree with you in that. And we're looking to incorporate into the system a way that you can just say, if I garbage a lead, don't even show it to me in the actual list. I just don't want to see it. Only when I go to the garbage leads that I want to see it. Now, the reason why you want to keep garbage leads, or you want to keep leads in, is from a year-to-year basis as you're doing lead generation and as you add more sources. You want to track how many garbage leads you get on an average basis, meaning that, if you get 30% average bad leads from a source and your cost per lead is X, then you know how to actually equate your marketing dollars. If you delete them, then you'll never know how many garbage leads you actually had, to make sure that your garbage ratio should stay in a proper tack. So that's the one main reason we say don't delete garbage leads and keep them in there, so that we can figure out that garbage ratio from an overall perspective. But
yeah, good idea. Yeah.
yeah, thank you. So what we also do is we can undelete your garbage lead. So we found that agents continue to delete it just because, like yourself, you don't want to see them. So we are working on a system that's going to be able to give you the ability to undelete them, and then they just won't appear in there. So even though you
Sure. Yeah,
deleted them,
hiding
yeah,
them is really crucial. Because that's the key, is that it clutters my.
sure, completely agree with that. Yeah, and that's something definitely we'll make that functionality happen. So continue deleting them like you have so far, and we'll give you the ability to undelete them, because we haven't cycled that deletion off completely. It's just sitting there, kind of dormant in our system. So,
Okay.
um, amazing. Is there anything that you would like to tell other agents, that you feel might be good for them to know about leads, about us, about anything of the process?
I guess I kind of touched on it before. I'm picking up on what's resonating with me, and the people that my leads is more of a, when I'm texting, calling, emailing, more of a human kind of
Right.
touch.
Approach.
Listen, I'm just here to help. What's your plan? Are is there anything I can help with? Just that kind of conversation, especially with the text messaging. People love texting. Now, it's quick, it's efficient. I think there's just one thing you need to be aware of if you're going to be using that method is just make sure you're able to get your point across. There's so many people that don't understand how to write a note properly without misunderstanding. So that's really important, and just stick with it. This is the long game for sure.
Absolutely, and I'm so glad you said that this is about helping. It's not about, in order, when you get this internet lead, we have to understand how they actually came to the point of registering to your website. They gave their information in order to keep browsing the website, and many times if our approach to them is, hey, I want to have you come into the office, you're asking for something that they're really not ready to do right now. And not only that, but they're expecting something from you, which is the ability to browse without the hassle. And by approaching them with a helping aspect and saying, I'm here to help you, kind of allows them to take that wall down. Because the moment you call or the moment you text, the wall goes up. I don't want to talk to anybody. I want to speak to anybody. And you got to try to pick down that wall by actually being there and saying, listen, I'm just here to help. And that's how you create that relationship. That's how you actually continue that conversation on. So I'm very, very happy to hear that you've taken that approach. Have you listened to any of the videos from Beverly?
No,
okay.
I haven't, not yet, but I have it as a reoccurring appointment in my phone since we started this. I think she's on Wednesdays.
Yeah, we have a YouTube video or YouTube channel that actually has, and we got to do a better job of actually making sure that our clients are aware of it. So the problem with her videos is they're an hour long, and it's hard for us to sit there because of time to be able to consume that. So what we've done is we created a YouTube channel that cuts the gold out of the entire hour into like 2-3 minute consumptions. So you can hear how her objection handling is. So when you get an objection saying, I'm just looking, or when you get an objection saying, I have an agent, or what are all the other objections, she has a way to get around it. She's been doing it now for 15 years, especially calling them. So we cut it up into 2-minute videos that you can kind of consume much easier. So I'll send you that link to YouTube channel so you can,
awesome.
Yeah, that'll help out. So amazing. But you're doing the right things in terms of, without even listening to her videos, the approach is to help. And that's what she that's what she talks about, that she wants to do. So that's amazing. Jason,
that last part that you said there, I want to give you the ability to browse without me being a pain in the ass. That's kind of the angle that I've been taking. And I tell you, as soon as that kind of level of conversation gets inputted into the contact, it makes all the difference in the world.
Does it open them up then? They actually?
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's really good. I'm gonna keep on working on that. I did have since I have you on the phone here, a couple of quick questions here.
Yeah.
One of the big objections that I've had from people when they're unsubscribing.
Okay.
I'll ask them why, and when I do get feedback, it's usually because, listen, I'm just getting way too many emails. And I've put together a buyer lead campaign with short videos using BombBomb,
right?
Which I found, pretty effective. But I'm limited. It seems like I'm limited in the way that I can send out the listings. Like you can do it up to 3 times a day, which is great. That would be for the person. That would be for the hot buyer that wants to see everything right away. And you can do it once a week.
Right.
You can pick your day once a week, or once every 2 weeks, once a month. It would be nice because I know in Kelowna, most of the new listings come up Mondays and Tuesdays. It would be nice to be able to send out leads or send out new listings like Tuesday at 4 p.m. And then maybe again Saturday morning, so that the people that work all week, they can wake up Saturday morning to that, but also see the stuff as soon as it comes on the market. So a couple of days a week would be a nice option.
Yeah, to select. So if we had the ability to select, preferably for you to say, okay, I want to select on Tuesdays and Wednesday, or Tuesdays and Saturdays at a specific time, right? That is an option that we have the ability to create. It is something that we have on the pipeline in terms of development. The only problem that I have right now is that when we're going to be able to allocate the time to actually do that.
Sure.
So we have, from an expansion perspective, what our timeline looks like in terms of where we want to be. The number two things right now are CRM for mobile. So we want to give you guys the ability that you can actually, right on your cell phone, be able to open up your CRM, call your lead, see the activity without having to log into the web version. So we are working on that. It is, in fact, I'll show you, you're going to be one of the first clients that actually takes a look at the mobile CRM. So you're going to have the pipelines and all that. You're going to be able to scroll your leads and search for them there. You're going to be able to pull them up, call your leads, see your activity and everything else on the actual mobile app. So that's kind of the number one thing, and that's been a request that's by everybody. You know, you guys are mobile these days, yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
So yeah, and we have a limited number of resources to be able to do a lot of these things. So while I truly want to say yes, Jason, we're going to put this in. From a timeline perspective, we're most likely looking at the second quarter of 2021 by the time we get to some of the features that are really needed and to make it a little bit better.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, as long as you're always moving the ball forward, I mean, that's the most important thing.
If we don't innovate, we die. That's
right.
The bottom. So
Yeah.
yeah. Amazing. Jason, I truly thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. And if there's anything that you need from me, I'm an email away, just like everything else. And thank you so much.
Sure. That's awesome. Yeah, had a good time. Okay, well, keep in touch, and we'll keep those leads coming in.
We will, absolutely. Best of luck in Kelowna. You guys have kind of stop recording now. You guys have been there now